This is Jeopardy! Now entering the studio are today's contestants. A graduate student from New Jersey, bkachief. A college student from San Antonio, Texas, MarioCyrascoII. And our returning champion, a video game journalist from Kalamazoo, Michigan, Scooter 102089, whose one-day cash winnings total $12,200. And now, here's the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to our show. We had an exciting match yesterday because our returning champion, Scooter 10289, was performing beautifully. He made a good start until the end. He averaged over $12,000 for his first appearance. What that means is that our newcomers, MarioCyrascoII, also known as Chris, and bkachief, who is also known as Bernie Hopes, to replace him as champion, they had the work cut out for themselves. So, gentlemen, good luck. Let's have fun playing with the first round. In this round, as you can see, there is only one daily double, and one of these is our categories. American presidents. Planet of the Elements, notice that planet is in quotation marks. Movies. Play it by ear. 1973, and finally we have some panagrams for you. Now I want to remind you about the category Planet of the Elements. Each correct response is something that has to do with chemical elements that are named after the planets in our solar system. So I hope you can figure them out, So Scooter, make your first selection.
Planet of the Elements for 100, please.
Answer. A heavy, silvery, deep black metal. Chris.
What is Mercury?
Yes.
Pentagrams for 100, please.
To puzzle the remains of a fellowed tree. Bernie?
What is Stump?
Yes.
1973 for 100.
On April 6th, the spacecraft is launched on a mission to study the solar system. Scooter.
What is Pioneer 11?
Yes.
Planet of the Elements for 200.
This element is approximately 70% denser than lead, but not as dense as gold or tungsten. Scooter?
What is uranium?
Yes.
Planet of the Elements for 300.
A radioactive metallic element. This is the first transuranic element, and it belongs to the Danthediesel series. Chris?
What's Neptunium?
Yes.
I'll take pentagrams for 200.
Sneezing sound. Autosomal dominant compelling heliothermic outburst. Chris?
What is Achoo?
Achoo. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Pentagrams for 300.
A hoisting device on a ship for raising or lowering boats. What is a devet? Back to you, Chris.
Pentagrams for 400.
Like a rump involving the rump, a main cat with no tail whatsoever. Bernie.
What is Rumpy?
Rumpy, that's right.
1973 for 200.
The first worldwide telecast by an entertainer watched by more people than watched the Apollo moon landings on January 14th. Bernie?
Who is Elvis Presley?
You're right.
1973 for 300.
This formal organization doubled the price of crude oil on December 23rd. Scooter?
What is Amoco?
Nope. Bernie?
What is Shell?
Nope. Let's see, Chris is not going to try. Correct response. What is the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries? Yeah, it's pretty much different than any other gas station companies. Back to you, Bernie.
1973 for 400, Alex.
CBS sells its baseball team for $10 million to a 12-person syndicate, which led by George Steinbrenner. Scooter?
What are the New York Yankees?
The New York Yankees is correct.
Let's try American presidents for 100.
Born in Kentucky, he was the only president born outside of the original 13 colonies. Bernie?
Who was Jackson?
Nope. Chris?
Who was Lincoln?
Abraham Lincoln is right, and with that, you move up to 700, and Scooter 10289 and bkachief are both tied at $300. But that's okay, things will change after we return from our first break. So we'll pause now, and we'll be back for more answers and questions. So stay tuned. bkachief from New Jersey, who is a baseball player who likes another sport other than baseball. Not only that, but he likes to wrestle, am I right?
Yeah.
Now, have you been wrestling with anyone at home? Tell us about it.
Oh, I will, Alex. My friend Chris told me about this little clinic they had in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and I saw Jim Ross, the talent guy for WWE. He was interested, and he signed me, and I debuted on ECW a few months later.
Oh, I see. Well, not only your friends signed you up for that, but they also helped you getting prepared for your appearance here on Jeopardy, which is a great way to get back into your knowledge and earning more cash for anyone's life. Good to have you with us there, Bernie. Keep it up. MarioCyrascoII from San Antonio, Texas, who has the ability to write his name in Japanese, which is supposed to mean his name, as you can see on the screen here. So tell me, how do you learn to write in Japanese? I could never do that, by the way.
Well, it's a very interesting story to tell you. Started out when I was only 12 years old, and I had to do something to kill some time. Of course, I was with my grandfather at work because I didn't want to stay home all day, and, staying home all day is going to be very, eerie, like, there's nothing to do, and you got to do something to kill time. I got into learning the Japanese alphabet on account of watching the ever so popular Gundam Wing on Cartoon Network, in which they had the Japanese subtitles for the episodes, like the title screen and all.
I see. Well, my niece usually watches the show a lot on cable, and he loved anime so much, I couldn't imagine how he's good at reading manga in Japanese. But since you're the one who's handling the different kind of language, how'd you do well writing it?
I got hooked into Japanese thanks to that show, and after studying carefully, the different pronunciations of the alphabet, I started to, in a good sense, translating my friends' names, especially the advanced version, the kanji, like the Chinese script characters.
Uh-huh.
And of course, for my name, MarioCyrascoII in Japanese, normally I wanted to go for this title, MarioCyrascoII, which means MarioCyrasco II, but I opted for MarioCyrascoII, which means King Mario.
King Mario, that's really an amazing name for a great contestant who does well in Japanese and in Chinese, I see. But I was thinking, if you thought of learning how to speak Japanese, do you think you'll have a great experience and thought about buying a house in Japan in case you win the game?
It will be a while if I ever get a house over there, but if I did, then maybe I will bring Jeopardy back over there. They once had it since the 70s and 80s. It's known as the Quiz Grand Prix.
The Quiz Grand Prix. Well, I'm glad to hear about the story because, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, there are other international versions of this program that is shown around the world, such as United Kingdom, France, Germany, Sweden, Japan, and lots more, even my hometown country, Canada. Anyways, I'm glad to have you with us there, Chris. Keep up the good work.
I'll do my best. Thanks a lot.
Scooter102089 is our champion, and we didn't realize that you were from a different city in Michigan, so we apologize for the mistake we did.
That's alright.
Now, you're from another city other than Lansing, am I right?
Yeah, I actually live in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Okay. Well, in case if you win again today, we'll make sure that Johnny Gilbert announced to you that you're from another city other than Lansing, so we'll make sure that we won't make that mistake again. Okay, now let's get back to the game here. Chris is in control of the board here, so he'll make our next selection.
Pentagrams for 500.
Answer. Plural of astem, a liquid preparation made by extracting a vegetable drug with dilute acetic acid. What is asta? Back to you, Chris.
Let's try movies for 100, please.
Answer in the top of that column. Joe Rev had been Emmy nominated as a writer of the 1987 Disney animated film. Scooter.
What is a brave little toaster?
You are correct.
American presidents for 200.
This president was a Republican lawyer from Vermont. He worked his way up to the ladder of Massachusetts state's politics as he became a governor of the state. Scooter.
Who was Calvin Coolidge?
Correct.
American presidents for 300.
Before the American Revolution, this president of Congress signed the Declaration of Independence. He is remembered by Americans for his large signature as an informal synonym for signature. Chris.
Who is John Hancock?
John Hancock is correct.
Movies for 200.
Jack Nicholson starred as a tormented writer who'd been advised by a ghostly butler who did the same, tries to murder his wife and son. Chris.
What's The Shining?
Yes.
Movies for 300.
In this 1965 musical, Julie Andrews acted a free-spirit young Austrian woman who was sent to the Salzburg to be governess to the 7 children of Captain Von Trapp. Bernie?
What is the sound of music?
Yes.
Planet of the Elements for 400.
The silvery white metal element tarnishes when exposed to air, forming a dull coated when oxidized. Chris,
What is plutonium?
you are correct.
Let's continue on Planet of the Elements for 500, please.
From the Latin for earth, it is chemically related to selenium and sulfur. It is called tellurium. Back to you, Chris.
Okay, movies for 400.
He was an Academy Award-winning American film director, cinematographer, and producer to make his two famous films, The Wizard of Oz and Gone with the Wind. He was called Victor Fleming. Back to you, Chris.
Let's finish it up. Movies for 500.
Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis, Macaulay Culkin, and this young actress stars in her first comedy drama flick, My Girl, which she received a Young Artist Award for Best Performance. Oh boy, has anyone heard of Anna Chlumsky?
Why didn't I think of her?
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, now you'll all learn from your mistakes. At least it's now in the movie, so I would probably suggest checking out the game. Thought it would be interesting to see Macaulay Culkin in Chlumsky's first film. Anyway, select again, Chris.
Okay. American presidents for 400, please.
He was chosen to be a Republican presidential candidate at the 1868 Republican National Convention in Chicago, which he faced no significant opposition. Scooter.
Who was Grant?
Ulysses Grant is right.
American presidents for 500.
He defeated the Democratic nominee Louis Cass and became the first president never to have held in any previous elected office. He was known as Zachary Taylor. Scooter, pick again.
Let's wrap up 1973 for 500.
Answer. South Korean politician Kim Dae-jung was kidnapped in this country's capital by the KCIA since August 8th. Chris?
What is China?
Nope. Sorry. Scooter?
What is Tokyo?
You are right, and we have less than a minute to go. Pick again.
Play it by ear for 100, please.
Answer. In 1888, he painted self-portrait with a bandaged ear. Bernie?
Who's Van Gogh?
You're right.
Play it by ear for 200.
Crew member who have leprechaun ears in TV Star Trek. Scooter?
Who is Spock?
You are right.
Play it by ear for 300.
Answer. Daily Double. We're running out of time, Scooter. How much do you want to wager?
I'll bet 1,000.
$1,000 it is. Here's your answer. He was the hero in this 1941 animated film who was voted for Mammal of the Year.
Who was Dumbo?
Dumbo, you got it. And that does it for the first round. Let's take a look at the score, shall we? We have Scooter10289 with 2,700, MarioCyrascoII with 1,100, and bkachief, who is in third place with $700. So as promised, he will be the first to start the Double Jeopardy round after we come back with our second break. Stay tuned.